Hey guys, welcome to You Sure Talk a Lot or All Mine Ranch. I'm not sure which channel of my two this is going on to, but hey, it's Sunday morning. It's the day 3 of a 3-day weekend. Man, I'm beat. Not only did I work my buns off yesterday, in the evening I went out on the deck at sunset and did some exercising, a whole lot of air squats and curls, and now my legs and butt are pretty sore. It makes it slow to walk. I got up this morning, beautiful sunrise. It was a nice warm, slight. You ever get those breezes they alternate between warm and cool from like different pockets of air going by you? That's what it was this morning. So the sun was coming up, the birds were chirping, there's rainbows, there was hot and cold air, and I decided to go for a walk and I went and explored the land. There were some cows making a hell of a lot of noise. And speaking of noise, my fan is on to give me some breeze. Hopefully that is not disturbing you. Hopefully not too loud. So some cows just to the north end of my land were making an incredible amount of noise. Just they were braying a bit like donkeys. You know, it was a bellowing, braying, donkey-like sound. So I thought, that's interesting. So and there's a resting spot. Like my land slopes up towards the north, and then there's the remnants of an old railroad track. The tracks are gone, but the mound that the track was on goes for many miles, all the way from northeast Cochise County all the way to Naco, Mexico. You can see it on the satellite imagery. But anyways, just beyond that railroad track is the northern edge of my property. Well, the cows have formed a, I guess because it's like a DMZ. Whoops, shaking the camera. It's like a DMZ. It's the border of my property, the north border of my property, and the southern edge of my next neighbor's property. So no one really uses it, right? So the cows have created a little chill out spot in the brush where it's flat and level and quiet and sheltered and shady. And they've got a trail that actually follows the same sort of railroad track and then all the way around. So they've got a circuit. So the cows can go from the highway 2 miles away, all the way up the road and all the way around my property. And that's totally fine, although frequently they come right onto the property and try to drink from the bird bath. In fact, just last night, the light flipped on, my security light, my motion sensor light that's right outside my tiny house, and I opened the curtain and looked down to see what had set off the light, and all I saw was the back of a massive cow. So I thought, oh shit. So I came downstairs, I started to put on some clothes and shoes so I could, shoo the cow away. But I started to make a noise before I even got outside to alert him that I was coming so that maybe he would leave. And he did. He left before I even got outside. Cow was long gone, nowhere to be seen. So it's weird how like a big black cow in the middle of the night can be like right 2 feet from your house, and then suddenly seconds later it's nowhere to be seen. I walked around outside with a spotlight to see if I could see it and see where it went, but it was gone. Anyway, so my point is there's a lot of cows nearby. They're making a lot of noise. So after I had a few, sat and chilled out with Stanley on the deck and had some coffee, I just walked up there towards that area and then did a big circuit, well off my property towards the big wash that runs towards the west, and then came back towards my property. And I like just exploring because I'm fortunate in that my piece of land is abutted by other parcels, that the way they're split by a wash, it makes it highly infeasible for the next property owner over to the west to actually want to use their land that's close to my land. The natural wash makes it kind of impossible to do a road or a clearing or anything, to build a house or anything like that. So because of that wash, I kind of get an extra, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9 acres or something like right up against my land that can't really be used. And if I really wanted to, I could, do some more trails and walking paths and whatnot, but it's not cool to modify somebody else's land. But I got a feeling 100 years can go by and no one's going to touch that land or come look at it or even give two shits about it. Anyway, so I explored the big wash and didn't come across any interesting critters, just a few rabbits and hares. There's a big pit actually just to the west that is actually a great spot to firing range. It's sunken down about 20 feet. It used to be, I guess, a gravel pit. There's a big iron graded thing, where I don't know what you call them, but when you take a bulldozer load of rock and dirt and dump it through a strainer, and the big rocks, you know, can't get through the strainer. It's, I guess, one of those, but it's probably 50 years old. So at one point, somebody had been digging a pit and doing some primitive mining to get rock or dirt out of there, maybe for the railroad. Maybe it was to, you know, help construct the railroad line back in the day. But that's just about 400 or 500 yards to the west. Hard to get to because of all the brush and the, you know, everything is scratchy and pokey out there, and there's rattlesnakes, and you know, but I like to, on some early mornings when it's quiet, I like to just wander the land and see what I can see and look for rocks and maybe look for some old arrowheads or pottery shards or something like potsherds, they call them. Haven't really found anything interesting, mostly old auto parts right here on my land from whoever used to own it, you know, 40 years ago, who collected cars. So I'm making bacon. It smells really strong in here. My point is, I don't think I'm going to work. Even though I have an incredible amount of labor to do building my solar rack, I think I need a day off just physically to recover and just relax in YouTube. So maybe I'll make it a YouTube marathon. I think of topics all day, every day, of things I would like to talk about and share with you guys on this channel. From politics to economics to just psychology to law of attraction to what's going on in my life to physical stuff, and kind of do what feels good to me today. I'm not going to labor. It's going to be really hot. There was a nice breeze earlier, but it's died down. It's quite still now. It's going to be a cooker, and honestly, I think I'd rather stay inside and just hang out with you guys and talk and shoot the breeze and work on YouTube stuff and just relax and actually take a real day off, which is a rare treat for me. So let's see how the day unfolds, shall we? All right.